Hello, everyone. I'm Robbie Doctor. While most of the old stigmas and negative connotations for cannabis have been thrown out the window or debunked in the past decade, there are still several of those who are opposed to legalizing such a powerful plant. According to Illustrate to Educate, nearly 128 million Americans, half of the U.S.'s population, has at least tried marijuana once in their lifetime. Over 600,000 Americans are arrested annually for marijuana related charges, despite several states having already legalized in the state. Public support for cannabis has increased from 12% as of 1969 to over 66% as of 2021. Researchers have also found that the legalization of marijuana did little to nothing to decrease these negative stereotypes. What people fail to understand is that there are both medicinal and economical benefits to legalizing cannabis. Marijuana has two chemical compounds that are primary for its relaxing effect. Tetrahydrocannabinol, also known as THC, is best known for its hallucinogenic effects on the brain and is the chemical compound responsible for making you feel high. Its counterpart, cannabidiol, also known as CBD, is known for having anti inflammatory effects on the central nervous system, very much similar to hemp. Known medical conditions that CBD is used to treat include arthritis, fibromyalgia, endometriosis, and migraines. Usually, the median cost for recreational or medicinal marijuana is about $15 and can range anywhere between $5 to $25 a gram depending on the state you live in or the area in general that you live in. Economically speaking, if you legalized marijuana and taxed it the same way that you taxed alcohol, it could generate billions of dollars of revenue in our economy. Cannabis plants may contain up to 40% CBD. Not only does CBD have anti-inflammatory benefits, but it has also been used to treat neurological and mental disorders like anxiety, Parkinson's disease, and depression, as well as sleeping disorders such as insomnia, and has also been used to regulate eating habits for those with eating disorders such as bulimia and anorexia. Cannabis can be used as the primary or as a secondary form of treatment for these sorts of medical conditions and diseases. We are merely scratching the surface of the plant's potential and legalizing it would unlock its full potential. According to Statista.com, the total 2019 tax revenue from the alcohol tax accounted for almost just a tick under $10 billion at 9.99 billion US dollars, and with a projected forecast of increase in 2025 of up to $10.02 billion by the year 2025, showing an increase of about $300 billion within the next 5 years for alcohol tax. With marijuana consumption surpassing alcohol consumption by almost double the margin, thanks in large part to the pandemic, projecting an average tax revenue of over $120 million every 5 years increases funding for government programs such as the Head Start program and the federal Pell Grant. A projected overall increase to $24 billion in the U.S. economy would be possible if marijuana were legalized. Many athletes, both male and female, have strongly promoted the use of CBD products and advocated for marijuana's legalization for years. Former NBA player Al Harrington, who founded and started the Viola Brands company, has been at the forefront of medical marijuana use for players and not testing in the league today, along with former NBA players such as Matt Barnes, Steven Jackson, Cuttino Mobley, and Steve Blake. Rob Gronkowski, who is arguably the greatest tight end in NFL history, retired from the NFL early in the year 2019 and took a year off shortly after returning in 2020 after taking an entire year to rejuvenate and recover his body. And guess what his primary use and primary products and form of recovery was? You guessed it, CBD products. For his chronic arthritis in both of his knees, his right elbow, and to help manage his CTE syndrome effects that he was experiencing. Gronk is also one of the few NFL players who has had if more injuries, or just as many injuries as he has had seasons that he's played in the NFL. Usain Bolt and Michael Phelps, two of the most dominant athletes on the Olympic stage, have both admitted to using medical and recreational marijuana before, during, and after track and swim meets. Two of the most dominant athletes, 31 combined gold medals, 23 for Phelps, 8 for Bolt, respectively, have both used marijuana to help them in their athletic events. In 2012, the first states to legalize cannabis were Colorado and Washington. As of November 2016, California has legalized medical and recreational marijuana use. In May 2021, congressional Democratic leaders filed a marijuana legalization bill aimed at remedying the injustices of the drug war. New York House of Representatives member Jerry Nadler reintroduced a legalization bill guided by representatives and social justice principles, called the Marijuana Opportunity Reinvestment and Expungement Act, also known as the MORE Act. This was the first bill ever in the House of Representatives history to ever be passed by majority rule, and will be the first marijuana bill to actually substantially alter federally, its legalization. What can we do in the meantime? Legislatures should pass laws federally to protect states that have already legalized it statewide, beginning with cleaning criminal records for possession and consumption. And the MORE Act should definitely pass immediately. Right now, the battle has come to a point where we are almost done. And with this upcoming election, it can be a turning point for the legalization of marijuana and other narcotics in general. I'll leave you guys with this last little bit of advice and note that I always live by. Smoke less, stress less. I apologize for the awkward camera angle. The iPad just kind of continues to slightly drop, so I apologize in the quality. But I appreciate you listening to my speech, and congrats to everyone who's passed this class.